Some Anthony Rizzo walk-up music as we welcome you to a cloudy Thursday afternoon in Roscoe Village, Chicago. Lane Jack Baseball is on the air as the champions play their third of the week against a team that is playing four in a row. It is the champions and the Maine South Hawks on a cloudy Thursday in Chicago. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Alex Burstein here in the press box at Kerrywood Field. We are in for what should be a fun one here tonight at Lane Sack. Lane experimenting with a very different lineup than usual. We'll get you that in just a couple of seconds. Not going to tease you any longer, but this should be a very interesting one. Going to be interesting to see how these new lineups work out for the champions as Maine South finishes up their warm-ups on the field, and then we'll be ready for probably a close to 4:35 first pitch here from Kerrywood Field. Lane is coming off a tough 6-2 loss to the 18th-ranked New Trier Trevians on Tuesday night. Maine South is coming off a 2-2 tie last night to Frem. Not usually that you see ties in high school baseball, but I imagine it was because of the weather or the darkness. Either way, the game did not get finished, and Maine South remained winless on the season. They come into tonight with an 0-3-1 record, but do not let you fool you. This is still a very talented squad. They come into tonight with losses to some really, really tough squads. Brother Rice, St. Vither, St. Lawrence, all teams that we should see competing for state titles come a couple of months from now. So this has been a hard start to the season for Maine South, but head coach Brian Lorenz said that this team is keeping their heads up and they're just trying to put the fundamentals together to try to get their first win here of the 2023 campaign. I talked with Lorenz last night, and he had something interesting to say. I mean, a lot of times when you talk to coaches, they're always talking about taking one game at a time, and he did mention that, but he also mentioned this Maine South team has really high expectations, and he was not blunt about that. This is a Maine South team that last year was the 1 seed in their sectional. They fell in the regional final, so did not get as far as they were hoping, but it's a very talented couple of years for Maine South, and they return a lot from last year's contention team, namely their all-state shortstop, number 29, Kiram Orukovic, who we will see batting leadoff in a couple of minutes, and then also they have their strong pitcher, Drew Kennan, who we do not expect to see tonight. As we mentioned, 4 straight games for the Maine South Hawks, so their arms are a little tired. They'll probably be using a lot of different pitchers for short stints tonight, but those are the 2 leaders on this squad, and they have been very, very impressive early on this season. And we will take you through the starting lineups first for the visiting Maine South Hawks. We teased it already, but hitting leadoff and playing at short, the all-state 4A player, Kiram Orukovic, who is a very, very talented shortstop, and he will be leading things off tonight. In the 2 spot, playing at second base, will be number 25, Daniel Allegretti. In center field and wearing number 8 and hitting in the 3 spot will be Brady Marks. In the 4 spot, a former all-conference player in the Central Suburban League, number 1, the first baseman Noah Collins. Hitting in the 5 spot tonight and playing in right field will be the catcher Joe Ward. In the 6th spot, it's a designated hitter Dylan Neal. He is designated hitting for the starting pitcher tonight, who will be Marco Couture. But as we mentioned, this is expecting to be a game where Maine South uses their pitchers for only 1 or 2 innings at a time, and that does apply to the starting pitcher as well. In the 7th spot, it'll be Ben Labutka, the I have him down as a catcher, but I don't believe that's his position. I believe I wrote down 2 catchers. No, he is going to be the catcher. Joe Ward, my apologies, is going to be in right field. And then in the 8 and 9 spots, it'll be Chris Gonzalo, the second baseman, and Ryan Krishke, the left fielder. So that's your starting 9 tonight for the Maine South Hawks. We'll get you the Lane Sack batting order in a couple minutes, but first we'll just take you around the field for them, as they will be taking the field defensively in just a couple of short seconds, lean things off in the outfield, a slightly different looking outfield. It's the first time we've seen this combination tonight. Ethan Borgren gets a start in left field. He was a starter in game 2 out there in left, and he did not play in the field the last couple of games. He was in the DH spot. Tonight he returns to left field. Josh Catt shifts over from left field to center field. He played in left on Tuesday. He will play in center tonight instead of Jack Pelican. Carson Berg will take things over in right field. He played in left earlier this season. This is his first time in right field. Henry Murray, the sophomore, not in the lineup tonight. Around the infield, Giannis Katsogradakis, the two-sport athlete, gets the start at first base for the first time this season instead of Jack Sir. Theo Greco gets a start at second base for another game. Adam Kunzvitsky will hold things down at short, and Louis Dayershin remains at the third base spot. Zach Shasha will be catching again tonight. He has every single game this season, and on the mound for the first time this season, one of Lane Tech's strongest pitchers, who we are very, very excited to see pitch in a high school game. That is going to be Aman Khan, the junior right-hander. He pitched this offseason in the World Baseball Classic qualifiers for Team Pakistan, but if you have been following Lane Tech baseball at all, you probably know that already. Khan, a very, very talented ball player, and we will see how long he can go in his first start as a varsity member of this Lane Tech team. He found himself in the starting rotation, but because of the way the games have lined up, it is going to be game number 5 that he gets his first start of the year. Khan last year on the JV team won the Cy Young Award as the top JV pitcher for Lane Tech, and now we will see if that success can translate into the on-the-mound play for Aman Khan here tonight. Khan getting a couple more warm-up pitches in, and then we should be ready to go here from Kerrywood Field. Khan mainly works with a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup. Fastball's been up to 88 miles per hour in the offseason. We'll see where he is sitting here today in his first game action in a couple of months, and we are ready to go here from Kerrywood Field, the Maine South Hawks and the Lane Tech baseball. First pitch, 4:37 p.m. here on a cloudy Tuesday in Roscoe Village, Chicago. Khan's going to step onto the mound, facing off against the lefty Arukovic. It's going to be a good matchup to start off the game. This one hit into right center field, and that will be caught on the run by Josh Katz. Looked like that was going to fly a little further to the right. The wind is out to right field here tonight, but Katz gets it while tumbling, and that will be an F8 to start off the game. So lucky break there for Khan. There was good contact on the first pitch of the day, but obviously you're playing against a player who was All-State last year, so gonna just have to look past that one as Daniel Allegretti will come to the plate. Very interesting here. Back-to-back lefties in the lineup to start things off for Maine South. As first pitch, fastball finds the outside part of the plate, and Khan will go up in the count. 0-1. His first pitch, his first strike as a member of this varsity squad. Tries the same pitch. This time it moves a little too far to the left, and we will even it out at 1-1 apiece. Maine South wearing their road black uniforms here tonight with some red and white lettering. Very nice away jerseys for this Maine South team, along with red socks and gray pants. As for Lane Tech, once again, they are in their home whites as a curveball strike 3 called for Aman Khan, who gets a backwards K in his second batter faced. And just like that, 2 quick outs for the Maine South Hawks here in the top of the first inning. Lane Tech has been a first-inning team all season long. They scored 5 against De La Salle on Monday as another curveball finds a strike zone. Khan is just pounding the zone with this curveball early on. But as we were saying, scored 5 in the first against De La Salle, scored their only 2 runs against New Trier on Tuesday in the first inning. And now they are going to see if their offense can do anything. But first, one more out needed as Brady Marks steps into the box down 0-2 after 2 curveballs missed. But the fastball will be not chased down low and will go to a 1-2 count. Brady Marks wearing the 8 jersey, playing in the 8 spot in the field, center field here tonight. Trying to avoid a 1-2-3 inning to start things off. This has been going great for Khan. He has only thrown, I think, less than 10 pitches so far, and that will end the inning. A quick 1-2-3 from Aman Khan in his first varsity inning, and we're all knotted up at 0 as we head to the bottom of the first. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. We head to the bottom of the first here at Kerrywood Field. It'll be Marco Couture on the mound, the right-handed pitcher for this Maine South Hawks team, who just could not get the ball on the bat there in the top of the first inning after a fly out to center field to start things off. Back-to-back strikeouts from Aman Khan in the top half of this inning to give the champions some breathing room as we enter the bottom of the first. We talked about it, but this is a very different fielding lineup tonight for the champions, and with that, that is going to bring a different batting order for tonight's contest. Tyler Trapp will return to the lineup batting as the designated hitter. He will lead things off here tonight with Josh Katz playing in center field and hitting in the 2-hole. Ethan Borgren moves from the 4 spot to the 3-spot hitting. He's had an up and down bat early on this season, and he will be hitting third. Louis Derishin batting cleanup tonight for the champions, a role he has had most of his varsity career, but was in the 3-hole the last 2 games. Zach Joshua in the 5 spot, Teo Greco in the 6 spot, and Carson Berg, Giannis Katsagradakis, and Adam Kunzvitsky will round out the starting lineup batting-wise for the champions here tonight, as Tyler Trapp is going to walk into the box. As we mentioned, he was pretty much an everyday starter at second base to start off this season. Did not play in the starting lineup on Tuesday. Came in as a pinch runner and as a pinch hitter later in the game. But he returns tonight as a designated hitter as first pitch misses low here from Couture. Couture, a junior pitcher slash infielder, getting, I believe, his first start of the season here tonight, as Trapp anxiously awaits the 1-0, and that one finds the inside part of the plate. So we saw a couple curveballs hit the inside part of that plate. That one, a breaking ball, hits the very inside as well, and it looks like the umpire a little bit lenient on that left side of the plate here from our angle. We'll see if that keeps up tonight as Trapp lifts this one down the left field line, and it will travel foul. That one sounded like a home run off the bat, ends up traveling a little too far to the left. The wind has pretty much died down. It has reversed is going out to right field, but the flag barely waving out there in right field, so wind should not play that much of a factor here tonight, as Trapp moves one ball away from a walk to start things off here tonight. My computer has 29 degrees. It seemed like a little bit warmer than that, but it's pretty chilly here tonight at Kerrywood Field. See how that affects the play as Trapp lifts this one into center field. Will bounce in front of Marks, and a leadoff single here from Tyler Trapp as the champions have the first runner aboard here tonight. And that's got to be a confidence boost for Lane Sack. As we talked about earlier, Lane Sack has been a first-inning team offensively as of recent. In their last 3 games, they have combined to score 13 runs in those 3 first innings. And then we can do the math quickly here, but I think in the other 18, they have 9 combined runs. So they're outscoring themselves in the first 3 innings of the last 3 games versus the last 18 combined innings of their last 3. So we'll see if that holds true here once again tonight as Josh Katz steps into the box. They're going to try to pick off Tyler Trapp twice there at first base, but they do not get him either time. Trapp was caught stealing once earlier this season, but for the most part pretty speedy. We mentioned he came in as a pinch runner last game. Definitely knows how to get down the base paths and in a hurry. Maine South still looking for their first win of this 2023 season as the 0-1 misses high and inside. Looks like a lot of changeup action early here from Couture. Didn't really get a chance to look at his arsenal before this one, as that's going to be a 3rd pickoff attempt there to first base. He has not even thrown 3 pitches this at bat. Still no away here in the bottom of the first. Champions looking to strike first at home. As we mentioned last night, it was a tie for the Maine South Hawks against Frem. That one ended 2-2 earlier on this year. A couple of other tough losses. They only lost by 1 to Brother Rice, who I don't believe is as good as last season, but is still a pretty solid ball club. So that was a tough one on the road to start off the season. Then they lost by 8 to St. Viator, 9-1, as a swing and a miss on the 2-1 will even it out at 2-2. And then an 11-1 loss to St. Lawrence before the tie last night. So far this season, only 7 runs put across the board by the Hawks. It's not been a strong suit as a called strike 3 fastball on the outside part of the zone. We are seeing a lot of Ks here early on. Kahn had 2 of them for Lane Tech defensively in the first, and we'll see Couture add his first of the night here as Ethan Borgren comes to the plate. We mentioned he moved from the 4 spot to the 3 spot. So we'll see how he can bat here. He opened the year in that second game of the season in the 3 spot against Warren. Then in the third game moved down, I guess you could say, to the 4 spot, the cleanup spot against De La Salle. Stayed there for the New Trier game. And now back to the 3 spot against Maine South as a big cut swing and a miss here will move us to an 0-1 count. We've seen a lot of big swings here out of Lane Tech the last couple of games. Kind of came back to haunt the champions in that last couple of innings against New Trier. The champions were not able to score for the final 6 innings of that game. Just were not racking up any hits as a big curveball gets a swing and a miss. That's the pitch we saw work best for Kahn there in the first inning. And now we'll see Couture get ahead in the count 0-2. Lane Tech trying not to waste the leadoff single from Tyler Trapp as we will see a 5th pickoff attempt over there to first base. Manning first base over there is Noah Collins, who was all conference last season, but I cannot say that any of these pickoff attempts have been super close as Trapp will take towards second. The throw down is in time, and they will get him by a decent margin. A very nice throw there down from behind home plate by Labutka. I believe it was Ovukovic, on the tag. And just like that, it is 2 away, no one on, and a 1-2 count. So very quick now to only 3 batters coming up to the plate this first inning for both teams as the 1-2 check swing. They say he went for it. Catcher lost it, but will throw down to first and easily get it to Collins in time. A leadoff single from Tyler Trapp is squandered, and we are all knotted up at 0 as we head to the second inning. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. We head to inning number 2 here at Kerrywood Field. Still scoreless between the Lane Tech champions and the Maine South Hawks in what promised to be a pretty good one, and that is exactly what we have gotten, at least defensively here early on. Lane Tech entered this season ranked number 19 by PBR. That is still where they stick. There has not been a second batch of rankings yet. We expect they'll probably drop down to the teams to watch part of the rankings after these 2 losses, but you never know, especially if they could get a win here today and then the big one on Saturday against Nazareth. As for Maine South, they entered the season as a team to watch after their strong 2022 campaign, and that is where they will stick heading into this into this 5th game of action this season. Both these teams have gotten in 4 games already, which is pretty impressive with the cold weather and stuff we have seen, a lot of teams have not played a lot this year. But luckily for Lane Tech and Maine South, they have both played 4 games this year, and we will see which of them can get a win in the 5th game, as we'll see the throw down the second base, and we're ready to go here in the 2nd inning of action. It'll be Noah Collins, the 4-hitter, leading things off, and then due up after him will be Joe Ward and Dylan Neal, the designated hitter tonight for the Hawks. As we're going to see another lefty in the lineup. This is the 4th batter that the Hawks have sent to the plate here so far today, and the 3rd of which has been a left-handed hitter. So a heavily lefty lineup here tonight for the Hawks, as the 1-0 driven to left field but will head foul. The wind picking back up a little bit here, still blowing out to right field, so we'll see if that has any play here at Gary Wood Field, as Kahn deals the 1-1, and the curveball will get in there. That pitch works so well for him in the 1st inning of action, and that will continue here, it looks like, into the 2nd inning. We're talking about all these lefties in the lineup for Maine South. Lane Tech, 2 of the most notable players not in the starting lineup tonight, both lefties actually. So Jack Soar, who's the everyday first baseman usually for the Champions, he's not playing tonight. He is one of their lefty batters. Henry Murray, who we have seen play in right field every single game this year and is a switch hitter but usually takes it from the lefty part of the box, is also out of the lineup tonight. So a couple of notable lefty misses, as the 3-2 fastball misses outside, and first base runner of the game for the Hawks will be a base on balls for Noah Collins. And with no outs, we'll see if Maine South can get something going offensively here in the top of the 2nd inning, something no team has been able to do just yet, as Joe Ward, the catcher tonight, the right fielder tonight, wearing that 2 jersey, comes to the plate. First pitch, a little bit of control lost there from Kahn, and Ward has to duck away to avoid getting hit by it. So that's a couple, I believe, 3 or 4 straight balls thrown here by Aman Khan after 2 strikeouts in the 1st inning, as late time called here by Joe Ward. Coach Lorenz for this Maine South team talks so much about just slowing down, playing fundamental baseball at the plate and in the field, and this team can continue to have some patience like we are seeing out of them early on at the plate. Could be the key for the Hawks to gain their first win of the season, as Kahn will throw over the first base. I'm not sure what it is about the runners here today, but we saw Couture throw about 6 times to first base to try to pick off Tyler Trapp in the 1st inning of action, and we just saw Kahn throw over there the first to try to get Noah Collins, as this one fouled back. In addition to being patient at the plate, Lorenz said his team has been kind of aggressive so far. He wants them to focus on getting smart hits, and with runners on right like the Hawks have right now, a runner on first base, if they can play some small ball, get a couple of hits into the outfield, that is how the Hawks could get some early runs here today, as almost pickoff attempt successful there, but it just a little too slow. I believe that's the 3rd pickoff attempt this at bat for Kahn. Giannis Katsogradakis manning the plate over there at first base. That smart hits part we were just talking about, very key for the Champions as well. They've been very aggressive batting-wise, as this one fouled off to right field. Chasing after, it's Carson Berg. He loses his hat, but it will not matter as it flies into the bullpen either way. And we will move to a 1-2 count. Kahn looking for his 3rd strikeout of the outing. Had a very nice 1st inning, fly out to center field, a backwards K and a forwards K against the 1, 2, and 3 hitters. As the 1-2 curveball, and once again finding contact, will be Joe Ward. Ward, the senior, listed as an outfielder, infielder, and pitcher. So basically he plays 8 of the 9 positions on the field other than being a catcher. Tonight, we mentioned, stationed out there in right field as another pickoff attempt over there to try to get Collins will fail. We stick at a 1-2 count after the couple of foul balls. A little bit concerning that that last one was hammered off the curveball that's been working so well for Aman Khan. It's not a super fast curveball we've seen here today. It's just had a lot of movement as a called strike 3 on the bottom outside part of the plate. Not sure which pitch that was from Khan. Maybe just a changeup, but it catches Ward off guard, and now they'll be one away here in the top of the second inning as we're going to see our fourth lefty of the lineup come to the plate through 6 batters for Maine South, and that's going to be Dylan Neal, the designated hitter tonight, wearing number 21. Runner takes towards second. Joshua throws down, should be close. Kunzvitsky just a second too late on the tag. It's a very nice throw down there from Joshua. Kunzvitsky got it easily, but it will not matter as Noah Collins safely into second base, and the first team to get a runner in scoring position today is going to be the Hawks. That has got to be disappointing for the champions. They had a runner on with no outs in the top of the first inning after in the bottom of the first inning after Tyler Trapp hit a streaker in the center field, reached safely with a single, but after that, things slowed down for the champions. Trapp got caught stealing second base on a similar, not all that different from what we just saw there a second ago. And then a strikeout from Josh Katz and a strikeout from Ethan Borgren brought the inning to a close. Collins will take the lead at second base. 1-1 the count on the lefty. This one, curveball fouled back. So there has not been a lot of swing and misses here today for Maine South. We've seen when they are swinging the bat, they are mostly making contact, and when they are not swinging, and when there's called strikes, they're obviously not swinging at all. So it has not been a lot of swing and misses from Khan here today. He's mostly been working with that curveball that has been getting fouled off or just not swung at all. So we'll see if that's an advantage or not for Khan, as fastball drilled down the first base line, and a nice one-handed grab there almost went off his glove of the first base coach over there for the Hawks. Brian Lorenz, the head coach, Andy Miller, the assistant coach here for Maine South. They have a couple other coaches, it looks like, in the bullpen, but only 2 varsity coaches listed on their lineup we got from the team, as curveball misses outside and will move outside to a 2-2 count. Saw a pretty quick-paced top of the first inning, but things have slowed down with these longer at-bats due to the foul balls from Khan, as the 1-2, you guessed it, fouled off again and will stay at a 2-2 count. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from Kerrywood Field. We saw Kerrywood himself in the building as an assistant coach for New Trier on Tuesday. No one quite as famous as him here today for this matchup, as the 2-2 hit towards center field. This should be playable. Josh Katz got under 1 in the first, and he will get under 1 in the second. Came in to make that grab. The first time it was a lot harder. Had to take the wind out to right field. Tumbled as he made the catch. But either way, it'll be our second F8 of the game. And after surrendering a leadoff walk, Aman Khan now 1 out of the way of getting through his second inning unscathed. It's going to be very interesting to see. I mean, if you're Lane Tech, you really want to get Khan some run support, and you really want to let him go maybe 4 or 5 at least in this game, because the bullpen is looking a little bare for Lane Tech right now. Against De La Salle, probably all of those pitchers would be available. Jack Davis was the leadoff guy, and then first guy and the only guy out of the pen was Caden Tokowitz, as first pitch is going to miss down low and outside to the 7-hitter, Ben Labutka. Saw him have a nice throw out of a runner at second. Tyler Trapp behind the plate in the first inning. So those 2 guys probably are available, but Lucino Sotelo threw a long relief outing on Tuesday. We're likely not available for this one. I believe went 57 pitches in that one. Jacob Meza was a starter. Usually he does not come in for relief, so those two guys likely not in the pen here today. So it'll be very interesting to see who the champions use after Con, and then obviously 2 days from now they have their arguably toughest opponent of the season and the currently second-ranked Nazareth Roadrunners. So you'd love to be able to save some of your top arms for that one if possible. But right now this one's looking like it could be a slow, long game, and that means a lot of pitches used as this one gets past Joshua and safely into third base is going to be Noah Collins. So after a walk, he has found his way around all the way to third base and is just a short ways away from delivering the first lead of the game for either team. A 2-1 count on the Butka. Khan's gonna veer in for the pitch, and this one hits softly towards first. Katsugradakis takes a couple of steps back and gets it for a third out of the inning. Maine South, the Red Ins, gets a runner to third base, but they cannot score. Still scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. We head to the bottom of the second here at Kerrywood Field. Mario Couture will stay in for a second inning. The coach said he was only going to go for 1 or 2. Looks like he will at least get 2 innings. Rocking a nice mustache out there on the mound here today. The righty had a good first inning. Started off with a tough single given up to Tyler Trapp, but got back on track. A pair of singles, and Trapp caught trying to steal, a pair of strikeouts, and Trapp caught trying to steal second. Meant no damage done in the bottom of the first inning. Maine South has not been able to do any damage as well as we remain scoreless as we start off the second inning with a big swing to miss here by Louis Derishin. He's been the most consistent hitter this season for the champions. Did have a pair of strikeouts though on Tuesday against against New Trier here at Kerrywood Field. And at risk of another one here, falling down early in the count, 0-2. Seen a lot of strikeouts early on in this one. 2 from Couture in that first inning of action, both of them on the second and third batters. This would be the third straight batter faced. He retired with a K if he's able to finish it off here. And instead, it's going to be lifted into left field. Chasing back is Krishke on the warning track. The wind took it a little bit, but he is able to readjust. That one about 10 feet, maybe even less, further would have gone to the out of the park for a home run. But Louis Derishin falls a couple of feet short, and that will be an F7 to start off the inning. Defenses continue to reign supreme here early on between Lane Tech and Maine South. 2 teams who we mentioned in the opening very well could see each other in the sectional. They were in the same sectional last year, but both had similar results. Lane Sack was the 5 or 6, I believe the 5 seed, made the 6 seed. I can check that later. In the sectional, Maine South was the 1 seed, so both were expected to maybe make it to the sectional semis, as this one's going to be dribbled down the first base line, picked up by Collins, who will tag Shashua for a quick second out. Both the teams fell in that regional final game to different opponents, but both wore a loss. Lane Sack lost to Glenbrook North in a tough matchup. And Maine South lost to the other Glenbrook South. That was a big upset. They handled Niles North easily 12-2 in the regional semifinal, but they were facing off against the 8 seed Glenbrook South and fell 3-1 to finish the season at 25-10, as first pitch is going to miss high to Teo Greco, who stays in the lineup. The underclassman has been playing well. Had a rough couple games at short, but has shifted towards second and been playing well there, and obviously has a pretty good bat here, hitting in the 6th spot as a big swing and a miss at the 1-0. Lane Sack was supposed to face off against Maine South last year. That did not end up happening due to the weather, but I remember talking, it was scheduled for the first or second week of the season like this one. The two teams usually play early in the year during non-conference. But I remember talking to Coach Brian Lorenz, and he was saying that there's a lot of question marks about this team. There was some confidence in the players they had, but he really did not have that many expectations for the squad at that point, and then they ended up leading the sectional, being the 1 seed, getting a 25-win season, and they returned 6 members from that 2022 daily lineup. So, I mean, 2/3 of who you see on the field right now were playing pretty much every day for Maine South last year. Definitely kind of puzzling to see that 0-3-1 record, but as you mentioned, against very good teams, as a 3-1 fouled back, and we will move to a full count on Teo Greco here in the bottom of the second, 5:07 p.m. 30 minutes into this contest, we had a 4:37 first pitch. Zeros across the scoreboard in the top and bottom of the first and top of the second. And this will be a walk. We're about to say out in the bottom of the second as well, but Greco will extend this inning for at least a couple of minutes. And we will see if Carson Berg can keep the inning going. Berg was in and out of the lineup last year, was a very, very streaky hitter. I mean, at some points he was the best hitter on the squad, as pickoff attempt over there, the first base, not in time. At other times, he was not hitting the ball that well, exited the lineup a couple of times because of that. As another pickoff attempt there, the first not in time. We've seen Couture really, really not like having a runner at first base. He had 5 or 6 pickoff attempts to Tyler Trapp, and then Trapp actually ended up getting caught stealing the second, so maybe that ended up paying off, as first pitch will go high to Berg. But as we were saying, very streaky hitter last year. We have not seen much out of Berg other than him playing against De La Salle on Monday. So we'll see how his hitting is looking this year. That's a big swing and a miss for a strike 1. It's been the day of the curveball. Amon Khan has been hitting that all day long. We just saw the swing and the miss off the curveball from Couture. That trend continues. Could continue to be a very low-scoring game, which is why it's so important for one of these teams to get a couple of early runs that could end up making the difference here. 0-0, bottom of the second inning. 2 away, runner at first base, that being Teo Greco, who just drew a walk. Second base runner of the game for the champions, as a swing and a miss for a strike 2. It was another curveball. The first one we saw reach all the way to almost the other batter's box. This one really just went to the center of the plate. Broke a little less, but each one ended in the same result, a strike. And he will chase him outside on a fastball, and that will end the inning. Lane Sack gets a runner to reach for the second straight inning, but can't do anything with it. We will head to the third, still scoreless here at Kerrywood Field. It's the Maine South Hawks 0, the Lane Sack Champions 0. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Sack Baseball here on the Lane Sack Athletics YouTube channel. We head to inning number 3 here, 0-0 your score between Lane Tech and Maine South. Aman Khan has been excellent on the mound here early on, has only faced off against 7 batters through the first 2. Only one has reached a walk to start off the second inning to Noah Collins. He worked his way around the third, but a line out by Ben Labutka to end the inning meant it was still no earned runs through the first 2 innings of Aman Khan's varsity career. See a couple of Lane Tech students wearing Team Pakistan jerseys here. We mentioned earlier Aman Khan pitched for Team Pakistan in the World Baseball Classic qualifiers due to his family lineage back to that country. It's all around Chicago media, a lot of attention for that. It was a great experience for him, and now slightly smaller stage, but making a varsity start for the first time first time in his life in that World Baseball Classic qualifier. He wasn't just on the roster. He ended up pitching an inning against Nicaragua, as first pitch is going to be hit on the back of Chris Gonzalo, the second baseman, and for the second straight inning, the leadoff batter is on. For those of you who are following the World Baseball Classic, I know I was. It was a very fun couple of weeks of baseball, but that team that he pitched against, Nicaragua, went all the way to the actual tournament. They had some good performances in the group stage, so Aman Khan was pitching against some very legit players, as first pitch bunt is going to be shown. Will not hit the bat for a bunt. Will go for a strike, though. There was a throw down attempt there to first as they tried to get Gonzalo over there, but will not be in time. It's Ryan Krishke on the plate right now, the 9-hitter for this Maine South Hawks squad. Runner still takes his lead over there at first base. It's kind of a big lead, so they are going to try to get him, but that will not get there in time. Still at an 0-1 count here on Krishke. Wearing the number 15 jersey. We saw him out in left field. Don't believe he has any catches yet, but it's been an active day a little bit, as the second pitch is going to be bunted off. It's very interesting. They're having Katsugradakis. He has to stay over there at first, but he's playing right by the bag. Louis Dershin, meanwhile, is rushing in as the pitches come in, as he tries to potentially get a play on a bunt. 0-2 the count. Khan looks in for the sign. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe he'll go for a curveball here to try to avoid the bunt, as no bunt will be shown. Instead, it's a swing and a miss, and that is another strikeout on the day for Aman Khan. His 4th here through 2 1/3 innings pitched. And it's been even. 2 of them have been swinging. 2 of them have been looking. Every single strikeout, all 3 of them from Couture have been swinging. It's been a good mix for Khan here, and now he'll work his way through the top of the lineup for the second time here tonight, as first pitch is a curveball outside to the lefty Rukovic. Flew out to center field his first time up. But probably could not expect that again, as this one ripped down the first base line, gets in the right field, and that is a single. Excellent job there by Carson Berg to quickly get on that one. But that is the second time here that we have seen very, very sharp contact made out of the bat of Rukovic. The first time it was a fly to center field that ended up being caught by Josh Katz, but it was a very, very strong out, almost to the warning track. And then here he gets on safely, and just like that, for the first time all day, we see a team with 2 players on the base paths at the same time. It's going to be a Rukovic at first. Chris Gonzalo gets to second, and at the plate will be Daniel Allegretti, who struck out swinging his first time, and will start off this at-bat with a strike. Khan trying to get out of this one with no damage done. It looks like there may have been a late defensive change. It looks like Borgren to me out in right field. Check on that between innings, but so there's going to be Borgren out in left, and trying to see who that is over in right. They might have switched left and right field. Either way, it's going to be an 0-2 count. Still out there in center field is Josh Katz. Allegretti tried to avoid going back-to-back Ks. Either way, we'll likely see Brady Marks coming up, the 3-hitter, who also struck out his first time up. This time he'll have a little more security with runners on the base path, so he could potentially drive in an RBI or two. The sun just poking through here at Kerrywood Field, illuminating most of the field, but not very direct sunlight because of all the clouds we have seen here today. Temperature's been in and out. I wasn't even certain we were going to have a game as the second hit batter of the inning. The pitch just goes a little too far inside to Allegretti. And with that, it is now going to be bases loaded with just one away. Allegretti goes to first, Rukovic to second, and Chris Gonzalo to third. And a little bit of trouble here for Aman Khan. It's a little bit of a sticky situation in the top half of, in the top half of the second inning with a runner on third with 2 outs. Much different here. Runners on all 3 bases with 1 out, and Brady Marks coming to the plate, who we mentioned struck out his first time but knows how to get RBIs. Got a couple of those last year as first pitch misses for a ball, and we'll move to a 1-0 count. Lanesack has struck first most of the games this season. It was not the case on Tuesday as New Trier scored 1 in the top half of the first inning, and they're trying to avoid back-to-back games falling behind early. This time it waited until the 3rd inning, but Maine South 2 balls away from walking in a run as curveball gets that one back working, and we'll find the outside parts of the strike zone for a strike from Khan. Khan was honored as the Pitch Hit Club Player of the Year. Big honor for him for his play this last year with Lanesack at the JV level, elite baseball at the travel level, and then obviously at the international level as well. On the JV circuit last year, 29.1 innings pitched, a 1.67 ERA, pretty minuscule there for Khan. As this one's going to be a called strike, and we'll go to a big 3-2 pitch now. Ready to take off for first there was Brady Marks. He thought he had a free walk there to first base, but instead it's going to be a 3-2. Big pitch oncoming here from the right-hander Khan. He fires in a fastball and a little too far outside and down low, and the game's first run will be walked in. That's just an unfortunate inning there so far for Khan. He's only had 1 batter reach off of a hit. It was a hit by pitch for Chris Gonzalo, who just scored. Rukovic reached on a single. That was a fair hit to him, but then it was a hit by pitch to Allegretti, who's now at second base, and Brady Marks with a walk as this one hit down the first base line, and Katsogradakis' throw home will be slow, so they get a second out on the ground out to first, but the lead now up to 2-0 for Maine South in inning number 3, and Lanesack's going to have some ground to make up offensively. The champions have not scored in 8 straight innings, so over a regulation game of baseball worth of innings at the high school level. And trying to get out of this inning with no more damage done. Joe Ward comes to the plate. First pitch misses high and inside. Ward struck out looking his first time up. Was the lone strikeout last inning, but will hit for the second straight inning. This by far the best inning offensively for any team yet. As the 1-0 misses too far outside, so he goes a little too far inside, then a little too far outside, and we'll find ourselves at a 2-0 count. We have Allegretti waiting patiently at third, Marks waiting patiently at second. It was Rukovic who came home to score on that last ground play to Giannis Katsogradakis, as curveball gets in there for a strike. I mentioned this is Katsogradakis' first varsity play of the year, but honestly, I don't think Lane Sack's usual first baseman, Jack Sir, could have made that play either with the jump that Orukovic got on home plate. It was a very tough play. Possibly would have been better off not throwing it at all with a risk of overthrowing and letting another run come in, but it was a good throw. Shashua got it, but it was a little too late for the out. As we'll move to a 3-1 count now on Joe Ward. I think Khan might have called time there. It's very interesting. Lane does have some bullpen work now, but we have not seen any infield visits. We have not seen any catcher visits to the mound, and we have not seen any mound visits from the pitching coach, as this one flown to center field. Katz will get his third grab of the day, and we will head to the bottom of the third. Lane Tech trails for the first time here today after a pair scored by the Maine South Hawks. It's Maine South 2, Lane Tech 0, as we enter the bottom of the third here at Kerry Wood Field. We head to the bottom of the third here at Kerrywood Field. A special birthday shout out to Jacob Meza's mom, Shannon Meza, who we heard is listening here today. A happy birthday to her here on this Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. Lane Tech looking to get some offense going here in the bottom of the third after giving up a pair in the top of the first. That inning ended with just one hit given up by Aman Khan, a single to Karim Ovrukovic. However, pair of hit by pitches and a walk and a couple of hard hit outs, a grounder to first and fly ball were what was needed for 2 runs to come across the plate. Now we'll see what Lane Tech's offense can do. They're in a bit of a scoring drought, as we mentioned, as Giannis Katsogradakis comes to the plate and will swing and miss at a first pitch strike. We mentioned Lane Tech was removing a lefty bat with Jack Soar. I completely forgot Katsogradakis a lefty as well, so he is going to replace a lefty with a lefty over there at first base. Marco Couture is going to remain in the game for a third inning. Unexpectedly long run on the mound here, but he's handled this Lane Tech offense great. Only 7 batters faced as Katsogradakis almost draws a ball there, but backed out probably about half an inch, and as a result, it's going to move to a 2-1 count. As time's going to be called on the mound there by Couture. Katsogradakis, a 2-sport athlete, one of a couple on this team, and one of two two-sport athletes where the other sport is football, alongside Zach Shashua as this one's going to hit the outside part of the strike zone, and we'll move to a 2-2 count. Katsogradakis, a commit to play at the University of Chicago next year for football. But trying to enjoy his last year of competitive baseball here as a swing and a miss, strike 3. A nice play there by Labutka to grab it and not let Katsogradakis possibly advance to first base on a drop, strike 3. And it will be 1 up, 1 down here to start off the third inning of play. Second straight batter retired here by Couture. And Adam Kunzvitsky, the righty shortstop, shows bunt on the first pitch of the at-bat. Did not look like he pulled it away, but the umpire did not call for a strike, so we'll give him a ball here. Benefit of the doubt, and a 1-0 count. He's had some struggles at the plate to start off this year. Shows bunt again, pulls it away, but this time it was in the strike zone. Very interesting. They're drawing in the third baseman, Allegretti, but, I mean, Konvitsky would have to dash down the line to beat out any potential bunt attempt here. As the 1-1 from Couture, check swing, but was a strike anyways, and back-to-back takes here lead to a 1-2 count. After this, it's going to be top of the lineup for Lane Tech. Tyler Trapp, the lone player who has gotten a hit here today for the Champions, coming up to hit, and then after him it'll be Josh Katz and Ethan Borgren, who both struck out their first time up. Maine South, we saw the top of the lineup after struggling to reach the first time up. The 1, 2, and 3 hitters all got out in the first inning. They all reached in the third, so we'll see if that pattern can hold true. As the 1-2 misses high, and we'll even it out at a 2-2 count here from Kerrywood Field. Bottom of the third inning, a 2-0 lead for the Maine South Redhawks. Excuse me, for the Maine South Hawks over Lane Tech. And a couple of high pitches here, just fastballs that looked like maybe lost a little bit control. They were probably above Konvitsky's helmet there. And we will go to a 3-2 count. Last reach for the Champions was a walk. We'll see if they can do it again, and they can. 3 straight pitches, very high there. And looks like we may have a mound visit here. Looks like one of the coaches knows just bringing a ball there over to the umpire. So they're going to stick with Coach Sir, but dangerous here for the Champions offense, who are trying to break this scoring drought, and they will have their best hitters to do it. Tyler Trapp, Josh Katz, and Ethan Borgren, the next 3 up for the Champions with just 1 away and a runner at first base. Konvitsky, playing at short today, is over there at first, so he obviously has some speed, one of the speedier positions on the field. As first pitch just gets there inside. We talked about this early on in the game, and the trend has just continued. That inside part of the strike zone for these righty batters. Pitcher has been getting a lot of strike calls there on both sides. As curveball gets in there and Trapp falls behind very quickly, 0 for 2. We mentioned he's the lone hit of the day, singled his first time up on a sharp blooper into center field in front of Marks there, as this one hit towards third. Double play potential. They throw the second to throw the first, though not in time, and they slide there by Konvitsky to prevent Gonzalo from turning the 5-4-3 double play, but that will mean 2 outs to go, and Lane Tech will have just 1 runner to show for it. Tyler Trapp at first base. Reaches his second time today. That one will not count as a hit because it was fielder's choice, but either way he is on. I'm sure he'd love to steal and make up for that time he got caught stealing earlier this game, as Josh Katz comes to the plate. And first pitch will miss outside, 1-0 the count. Borgren on deck for the Champions, hoping he has a chance to hit this inning. Both Katz and Borgren hoping to make up for strikeouts their first time up. Katz has been in a variety of places in this batting order this season, but right now he's going to hit in the 2 spot. He's also played in a variety of positions this season. We'll see. I don't think he's going to catch, but we'll see how many of these positions he can rack up this year. He's been DH, he's been starting pitcher, he's been left field, he's been center field, so he's almost halfway to playing every position on the field. So we'll stick with an 0-2 count after the foul ball to right field. Trapp still with the lead over there at first base. The pitch, curveball misses out inside, and we will finally get a ball here on Katz. Started off the year strong fashion. Was 0 for 2 his first 2 at-bats, then drew a walk, and then an inside the park home run against Niles West, as this one skied over the dugout and out of the park. And we'll stay at a 1-2 count. So Katz has fouled off 2 balls with this 0-2 count. One pitch did go for a ball since then, so it's a 1-2 count, but using up a lot of pitches here for Couture, Marco Couture, in his 3rd inning of work. As the 1-2 curve misses outside. You saw those curveballs working so well. They've slowed down a little bit these last couple of innings for both of the teams. Maine South, like Lane Sack, is playing around with their lineup still defensively, as this one's going to be low, and we missed the ball there, so that's actually going to be a walk. And with 2 away, Lane Sack will have 2 on for the first time here today. We talked about how that was the case for Maine South in the top of this inning, and looks like the offense is just starting to wake up here in the 3rd. As Ethan Borgren will come to the mound, and looks like Brian Lorenz is going to head out to the mound, and because of that, we may have a pitching change here to start off the 3rd inning. No, it looks like they're not going to take the ball from him, so they're going to keep their trust here in Marco Couture. See if he can close out this 3rd. He's been pretty solid through 2 2/3 innings pitched, has only given up a pair of hits to go along with a pair of walks. But obviously dangerous when you have 2 good runners on the base paths right now, like you have in Josh Katz and Tyler Trapp. And 2 good batters coming to the plate in Ethan Borgren, and after him, Louis Derishin, who has gone out in 3 straight at-bats. I'm sure he desperately wants to get a hit. He was about 10 feet away from a home run the first of the season over the fence here at Kerrywood Field in a Lane Tech game, but fell a little bit short. Wind still blowing out to right field here at Kerrywood Field as first pitch taken for a strike. Gets a little bit more break in his ball back there after the mound visit for the junior right-handed pitcher. Big lead over there at first for Katz. Trapp with a slightly more modest lead over there at second. Vukovic is checking him closely there. And I imagine after Trapp got caught trying to steal second earlier this game, might be a little bit difficult for the coaching staff to rationalize trying to have him steal 3rd unless we get to a full count situation. 1-1, the count on the righty Borgren. They'll throw the pitch, check swing, and they say it was high. Interesting, the catcher did not even appeal there. It appeared somewhat close from our angle of Borgren's swing, but the umpire staff will not agree, and we will move to a 2-1 count now. We were using our binoculars, and it does look like Borgren, who was originally listed as left fielder, is playing in right field, and Berg in left as this one skied towards center field. Should be playable for Marks, who takes a couple of steps to his left and makes the grab. That will be the end of inning number 3. Champions strand a couple, and they still are scoreless. 9 straight innings now of scoreless ball for the Champions. They trailed 2-0 to the Maine South Hawks. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. We head to the 4th inning here at Kerrywood Field, almost halfway through this one, and a 2-0 lead for the Maine South Hawks over the Lane Tech Champions here on a nice Thursday. Still a little bit chilly, but the weather has held off. We didn't finish this thought earlier, but I wasn't sure this game was going to get played. It rained through last night into this morning. It was scheduled to go for about 18 straight hours. Ended up only being, I think, probably 8 or 10 hours of rain, and none of it was super heavy. So the field still playable in dry conditions for this 4:37 first pitch, as first pitch fastball misses outside here from Aman Khan to get us going in the top of the fourth. 2-0 lead for the Hawks, as he'll try the same exact pitch, but this time gets lucky with the strike zone and will even it out at 1-1. At the plate now is going to be the designated hitter, Dylan McNeil, as this one from his knee hits it into right field, but Borgren safely gets it to fall into his glove, and that will be 3 pitches for the first out here for Aman Khan. We talked about how it would be key for Lane to have him go a decent amount, and looks like he, knock on wood, will probably be able to go at least 4 innings here tonight, already through 3 1/3. We did officially check, and we'll read through the lineup here for the champions because of that outfield switch. The infield stays the same. Katsugradakis at first, Greco at second, Kunzvitsky at short, and Darshan at third. But the outfield is now Carson Berg in left, Josh Katz in center, and Ethan Borgren in right field. So those left and right fielders flip-flop from where they were originally supposed to play. Borgren, who we've seen play left, is making his debut in right, and Berg is going to stay in left. That's where he played on Monday. That's the only field position we have seen him play here today, as we will see Labutka get his second ball of the at-bat. He's looking to reach for the first time today, and looks in good fashion to do so with a 3rd straight ball here thrown by Aman Khan. Lane Zach does have some bullpen action, as does Maine South. Can't quite see from our angle who it is, as a 4th straight ball thrown, and that's going to be a 4-pitch walk. The ball did get away from Shashua, so quickly hustling down there was Labutka, and the throw to the pitcher was also kind of wild, but Kunvitsky's there to scoop it up, and it will be just 1 base, as they're going to move a pinch runner, Liam Maloney, in to try to get some extra speed on the base paths. Labutka, we just saw make that his way to first and came out of the game. This is his 2nd year being pretty much the everyday catcher. He caught 28 games last season, as first pitch is going to be swung on and missed for a strike. At the plate, Chris Gonzalo, who represents the leading run right now. He has scored the first run of the game, and then Rukovic added one himself, as fastball just misses inside, and we'll move to a 1-1 count, 1 away. Top of the 4th here from Kerrywood Field. Gonzalo, the 8-hitter, but it was the bottom of the lineup that started that offense going, as a hit and run goes down the third base line. It's a very nice jump on that pitch from Liam Maloney, who probably would have been safe into second even if Shashua tried to throw down. But instead, it's going to be a 2nd strike, and Aman Khan 1 strike away from getting a 2nd out here tonight. Or not tonight, this inning. Got that leadoff line out from Dylan McNeil into right field. Lane was actually lucky to get out of that last inning with only 2 runs given up. It was a bases loaded, 1-out situation, but Khan handled it well. Definitely could have been more damage done, but it will end up being just a pair of runs that come in, and that currently represents the difference here in the top of the 4th. Runner takes his lead at first. The 1-2. Runner takes again. This one hit high back. Joshua throws off his mask, gets under it, and it will drift away from him at the last moment. Katsugradakis also sprinted over here to try to get that one. Lost his hat in the way, but neither one will be able to come down with the catch, and that will be a second strike. 1-2. Still the count for a while now on Chris Gonzalo. His reach that ended in the run was not even a hit. It was a hit by pitch. Kahn had 2 batters he hit in the span of 4 face there in the third, and that's what really allowed the bases loaded to happen. It was the first and third batter that reached that inning. Trying to not repeat that here. Pitch is high. The throw down. Greco. Oh, just missed that there. That's the second time tonight that Lane Tech has been just inches, probably centimeters or less away from a caught runner stealing. But we talked about that speed we saw from Liam Maloney. And now a runner in scoring position with just 1 away in the 4th inning as the Maine South Hawks look to extend out their current lead over the champions. And with the way this Lane Tech offense is playing right now, that could be problematic as curveball strike 3 called on the swing and a miss. Another strikeout here from Aman Khan, and he will look to get out of this inning with no damage done. And to do so, will face off against Ryan Krischke, who really struggled his first time up. We saw him miss a couple of bunt attempts that went for 2 strikes, and then Khan just beat him with straight-up speed on a swing and miss strike 3. So we'll see if he can repeat that success here. Maloney takes a big lead at second. No one checking him, so he could easily take off for third. First pitch gets away from Joshua. He will cleanly get third. They might send him home. They will not, as Khan came to cover the plate. But runner now 1 base away from extending this lead and a 1-0 count. The first ball that has been thrown here tonight to Krischke. That was a 3-pitch strikeout his first time up, so not as great of a situation this time for Aman Khan. Had a similar situation, 2 away, runner on third in the second. Did not give up any there as he will get an important strike there to even out the count at 1-1. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from Kerrywood Field. It's been a fun defensive affair here early on between the champions and the Hawks. 2 of the top teams in the Chicagoland area as curveball misses outside and will move out to a 2-1 count. After today, champions will be 75% away through this very tough scheduling week. They had De La Salle, who we should mention finally got their first win of the season last night. On Monday, but they're a team to watch in the area. Lost to New Trier on Tuesday, playing another team to watch tonight in Maine South, and then they'll have their tough one on Saturday, though I heard there might be some snow in the forecast. Chicago, almost spring weather. I guess it is officially spring now, but I believe as this is going to be try to steal home, and Joshua's going to get him by a mile. So you don't see that a lot in high school baseball. Liam Maloney took off for home plate and got caught, so that will be out number 3. Hawks can't extend their lead, and it's a 2-0 lead for them as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Halfway through this one, it's the Maine South Hawks 2, the Lane Tech champions nothing. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. we head to the bottom of inning number 4 here at Kerrywood Field, as we'll see our first pitching change of the day come in the form of Daniel Allegretti coming in for Mario Couture. I thought our lineup was going to change a lot, but it ends up, looks like Couture just switched with Allegretti. So Allegretti comes to the mound. Couture moves over to third base where we saw Allegretti playing, and that will be the lone change. It was a good day for Couture. 3 innings pitched, no earned runs, no runs at all given up. And that is where we will begin things here as we kick off inning number 4 offensively for the Champions. They try to get on the board for the first time here today, and leading things off for them is going to be Louis Darashin. It's a fly out to end the inning by Ethan Borgren there in the third, and that leaves the dangerous 4, 5, and 6 part, the middle of this Lane Tech lineup, to start off inning number 4 for them, as first pitch misses high and away. Did not see much on Allegretti's pitching, but we'll see what he has in his arsenal here over the next couple of minutes. Maine South, even with this new pitcher in, has 2 guys in the bullpen as Darashin rips this into left field. This is going to be another one that just falls a little bit short. Played out there easily by Krischke just in front of the warning track. And 1 up, 1 down here once again for the Champions in inning number 4. The offense has just not been there today for the Champions. We've only had 2 runners on the base paths at the same time once today. That happened last inning, but they ended up stranding 2. We're not able to get anything across the plate as first pitch curve high misses to Zach Shashua. Joshua's been one of the hotter bats to start off the year. Still trying to reach for the first time here today. Grounded out to first his first time up. Kudos over there to Collins at first base. He's had a couple of tough plays he's had to make, and showing why he was all conference in the Central Suburban League. It's the second straight CSL opponent for the Champions, as check swing misses high. And they're actually from the same part of that conference as well, I believe. Just trying to get that quickly. Yeah, both in the Central Suburban South, New Trier and Maine South and Niles West. So Lane Tech's actually gone through half of the Central Suburban South here through the first week plus of the season. Shashua readies for the 3-0. I imagine there'll be a pitch down the middle, no swing, and a strike, just as we said. So we'll move to a 3-1. Lane's had mixed success. Got the season opening win against Niles West. Fell to New Trier on Tuesday. No games scheduled against the other 3. It was kind of interesting. Lane plays Evanston almost every single year, as this one misses inside, and Shashua will draw a 5-ball walk. Evanston was not on the schedule this year for the Champions. And Glenbrook South and Glenbrook North, one of which Champions lost to last year in the state playoffs, both not on the schedule. Those ones are, I think, significantly more further. Maybe New Trier is kind of close to them, but definitely further out than Niles West and Evanston than the other schools, as Teo Greco will come to the plate. There was a pinch runner put in for Zach Shashua, who I'm not sure if we've seen stay on the base paths to run at all this year. We saw the same thing when the catcher reached for the Hawks earlier this game, as first pitch gets in there for a strike. It's Emiliano Perez-Zeeb. We've seen play in the field a little bit, but has otherwise been the top pinch runner when Tyler Trapp was out of the lineup on Tuesday. He took over that role. 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Champions still looking to get that first run of the game. And a couple of balls here thrown by Allegretti will help with that. As a reminder, Couture, the new third baseman, to go along with Orukovic at short, Gonzalo at second, Collins at first, and now Allegretti on the mound. As runner took for a second there, the second it looked like, but held out. Maine has not had great success stealing or trying to catch runners stealing on both sides of the ball here today. So we'll see if they're hesitant to run here on the 3-1 to Teo Greco. Walked his first time up this time, and there'll be a contact on the 3-1, and we'll have a full count. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a full count on Greco the last time as well. He's one of 5 champions to reach here today. Lane is being 2 hit here so far, only 2 hits on the day. 3-1 misses outside. Excuse me, that was the 2-2. We thought it was the 3-2, but instead it will be a ball, and we'll move to a full count. So 3-2 the count on Teo Greco. Waiting patiently on deck will be left fielder Carson Berg before the champions move into the bottom of their lineup. As a 3-2 down low, and taking his free bag will be Greco. So do the champions have something going here? They have 2 guys on for the second straight inning. The first time they were not able to do anything with it, but they would love to reverse that here the second time and not blow that chance, as Carson Berg will come to the plate, the righty. And you have some speed on the base pass right now. You have Greco over there at first, and then you have the pinch runner Z, who's very speedy. Only got caught, I believe, once this summer season trying to steal, so we'll see if they get something going there. Runner checked at second base as first pitch gets in there safely for a strike. Giannis Katsogradakis coming to the plate. He's got a big bat. We saw him strike out the first time, but the way he swings the bat, if he gets contact on it, ball can be flying out of the ballpark. As 2 very inside strikes on the first 2 to Carson Berg. He looked frustrated after those 2. We'll see if he can rebound. Two the count, 1 away in the 4th. Runners take their leads at first and second. Zeeb is dancing over there at second base, as we'll see the first ball thrown of the at-bat. He's really trying to get into the mind there of the senior infielder slash pitcher, Daniel Allegretti. Seeing a junior take the mound and a senior take the mound here. It's a mix of sophomores, freshmen, seniors, and juniors on this roster this year for the Maine South Hawks. We have, looks like 3 sophomores to go along with 2 freshmen. None of them in the lineup here today, at least yet. But Lorenz said that one of the freshmen comes out of the bullpen, so we'll see if that happens. And he said it's been interesting to work with this group of mixed ages. And he had a quote I really liked. I wrote it down. He said, it's my program, but it's their team, referring to the players and especially the seniors and how the seniors have been educating these younger guys this year. And I think that's what's scary when you look at this Maine South team. Even with the early losses, if they can get some of those underclassmen to contribute, as a swing and a miss, strike 3 from Berg. If they can get some of those underclassmen to contribute to go along with this already pretty experienced lineup, it's going to be a team that's dangerous to watch as they get into their more competitive conference part of the season and then eventually state playoff play, as Giannis Katsogradakis will come to the plate. Champions have stranded 3 runners through 3 innings and trying to not make it 5 here. That's a big cut and a miss. The ball did get away there from Labutka, and I'm kind of surprised that Zeeb did not come off the bag there, even though it was quickly recovered by the catcher. I mean, with the lead he had, I'm sure he would have been safe into third there, but instead it's going to stay at a 0-1 count and stay with runners at first and second. Emiliano Perez-Zeeb at second base, the pinch runner for Zach Shashua, and Teo Greco over there at first. That was the first strikeout of the game for Berg. Second strikeout of the game for Berg. First strikeout thrown here by the righty Allegretti. and he is now one strike away from having back-to-back Ks to close out this inning after a walk and a single in his second and third batters faced. The 0-2. Ooh, just a little too low. You could hear the agony of the Maine South fans. Not a lot of them here today, not a super big crowd for this Thursday afternoon matchup, but the ones who were here thought that one was a little closer to the strike zone. The umpire doesn't agree, though, and we'll try it again. Still a couple of balls available as runners will take pitch outside, and Perez Zeeb gets caught. Another runner caught stealing here tonight for the Champions. They strand the runner, and it will be Katsogradakis hitting next in the fifth. But first, we'll see if the Maine South offense can add to their 2-0 lead. It's the Maine South Hawks 2, the Lane Tech Champions 0 as we enter inning number 5. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. We head to inning number 5, and that heavy metal you hear is Caden Tokowitz's pitching song as the junior right-hander comes in for the second time this week. We were talking about who's available in the bullpen. We said Tokowitz's name, and he is the one who will get the call here to start off inning number 5, and he is going to face off against the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. Gets Ryan Krischke to start things off, and a nice sinking movement. I apologize, it's the lefty Tokowitz who comes in, not the righty. 0-1 the count on Krischke, who was at the plate to end that last inning, but runner was caught trying to steal home. It was the pinch runner for Labutka, Liam Maloney. You don't see that a lot in high school baseball, but they quickly got it home to Joshua. We did see a steal homework once last year for Whitney Young against Lane Tech. As it's a weird delivery. Look closely if you're watching at home. It's a weird delivery that Tokowitz does, kind of like a 3/4, 2/3 arm slot from his lefty stance. It's working. Went 2.1 against De La Salle on Monday. Just gave up 1 hit as a swing and a miss strike 3. Gets away from Joshua, who will quickly throw it down the line for an out number 1 to Giannis Katsogradakis. So a strikeout to start off the day for Tokowitz. Gave up 1 hit in those 2.1 innings, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Faced 8 batters in that game. So nothing too bad. Did not end up getting the save officially, I don't believe, but they don't have it on Max Preps, but I believe that should have been a save for Tokowitz as first pitch misses outside. So it was able to handle the 9-hitter. Now we'll see how he can do with the 1, 2, and 3 hitters. And he's facing off against Akiram Arukovic, who's been very, very impressive at the plate. Looks like they're kind of pitching hesitantly to him. No intentional walks here in IHSA play, but it makes sense. He hit a hard fly ball to center field the first time up. Got caught by Josh Katz. Second time, though, a nice sharp grounder into right field for a single. So he's had 2 hard contacts with the ball here today. As the 2-0 called for a strike on the outside part of the plate. And we'll move to 2-1. On deck, Daniel Allegretti, who moves positions but stays in the 2 spot, and Brady Marks will go to the 3 spot as this one chopped towards short. Kudvitsky should have it, and they will retire the All-State 2022 player for the second time today on the 6-3 putout. You know, interestingly enough, that is actually the first infield putout we have here today. We've had a lot of grounders, we've had grounders to the infield, but the first time there's been a 6-3 or a 5-3 or any of that today. So, first assisted infield putout is what I should say, as first pitch misses a little bit down low. We saw Tokowitz fall down early in that last count to Rukovic, but was able to recover, and he'll have to do the same thing here, down 1-0 in the count. And now make it 2-0. So back-to-back 2-0 counts to start off the at-bats. Got a strikeout against Ryan Krischke to start off the inning, so 2 away. Tokowitz trying to show he can be one of the top relievers this season for the Champions. A role that is going to be important for Lane, but that has a lot of question marks still at this point in the season. The 3-0 delivery hits the outside part of the plate, and we will see another pitch in this at-bat, 3-1. Tokowitz wearing that wearing that number 28 jersey, plays travel with Elite Baseball as this one misses outside, and the first runner to reach the second walk of the season for Tokowitz here. He threw an 86-pitch, 7-inning no-hitter this summer for Elite Baseball. And if you're familiar, they play some hard tournaments. So Tokowitz had a very good season on the mound this summer. Through 33 innings pitched, had a 1.485 ERA, 6-0 record. And now he carries that into his first season on varsity. Aman Khan, we should mention, ended the day. 2 earned runs, 4 innings pitched. Pretty solid first outing for the right-hander. In most games, if Lane Tech had any run support, Khan would be in a position to get the win here today. But instead, it's going to be Tokowitz if the Champions end up taking a lead, who would be qualified for the win at this point. This one misses outside, and we'll go to a 1-1 count on Allegretti, the third baseman turned pitcher. Will be interesting to see if he goes in for a second inning after giving up a walk and a single, but no runs in this first inning pitched. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and Tokowitz 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. No bullpen work currently for the Champions. There is some for the Hawks. On deck, Noah Collins. Excuse me, it's Marks at the plate. It's Allegretti over there at first. My apologies. So, a 1-2 pitch on Brady Marks. Reached one stay on a walk, but will get called for a strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. Nice little movement there from Caden Tokowitz on his strike 3. And he gives up no runs in his first inning pitching at home this season. No one scores for Maine South. It's still 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. 9 outs left for the Champions to get their offense going. We'll see if they can do it here. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Another pitching change here as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning, and we were talking about him a little bit earlier. We mentioned that head coach Brian Lorenz talked about a freshman he had coming out of the bullpen, and we will see that freshman now as a pitcher/outfielder class of 2026. Had to check there quickly on my fingers, but 4 years from now, 2026, Sam Higgins will come on to the mound. We don't have the heights for these players. Not a very big stature on the mound for the freshman, but we'll see if he can have a commanding presence with his pitches. He faces off against the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Allegretti moves back to third base, and Marco Couture, it looks like, will have his day over with after 3 innings on the mound and 1 on the third base side. But Allegretti, after a solid 4th, returns to his usual role at third base. Giannis Katsogradakis, the 8-hitter, will lead off this inning. For the Champions, was at the plate that last inning when Emiliano Prezib got caught trying to steal third as first pitch called for a strike. Bottom of the 5th here. Getting to the later stages of this game. As we mentioned, Lane Tech has not scored a run since the first inning against New Trier. This one bounced down the first base line, over the base, but will head foul, and we'll go to an 0-2 count on Katsogradakis, the U Chicago football commit. Katsogradakis had some busy days this summer. He would be playing Lane Tech summer football 7-on-7 tournaments or whatever it was doing, and then he'd go to play travel baseball for 5-star Great Lakes baseball. So he was improving with both of those sports this off season and gets a chance to see some action for the first time here tonight on the baseball field. Was all around the football field this fall. For the Lane Tech champions, they got their first state berth in quite a few years. Made it to the city quarterfinals. 2-2. This is down low, and we'll go to a 3-2 count. Higgins slipped on the mound there. We talked about it. It's been rainy here in Chicago. We have not seen any players slip, but the righty freshman does so just there. Excuse me, the lefty sophomore does so there. Freshman, woo, the lefty freshman does so there, and now we'll see the 3-2 gets a little bit too far outside, and a leadoff walk here to start off inning number 5. Pitching staff figures to be one of the bright spots here today, and I think we may see a pinch batter coming to the plate here. We are. So Jeffrey Kapp is going to come in to hit for Adam Kunzvitsky. That does not mean that Kunzvitsky's out of the game. We will see if he returns to short in the next inning, but Kapp will be hitting for him at least in inning number 5. We saw Kapp at one of the more bizarre plays of the year for the champions on Tuesday. He hit one like right into the ground. He was fairly confident he was very confident it was foul. And the ball stopped, I think, but the catcher got it and tagged him out, and the umpire never had called it foul, so it ended up being a out. He did not run to first base, so be trying to redeem that here in the bottom of the 5th. No outs, runner on first base, and if he can reach, this could be big for the champions. They have a runner at first. If Kapp reaches, they'll have 2 on, no outs, and the top of the lineup coming up for Lane Tech. This is something we've seen them do a little bit. Kunvitsky, who at times this year has been a little bit of an offensive liability, obviously very impressive in the field, so they use a pinch batter for him 1 or 2 times a game. This one off the gear, and this will be the first stolen base of the game for the champions. Labutko has done a great job behind home there, but that one just goes a little bit off his gear. A 2-1 count now on Jeffrey Kapp, and a little bit of struggle issues here for the freshman Higgins in his relief appearance, at least 2, possibly spot 3 guys. I'm trying to see. Looks like 3 guys possibly warming up in the bullpen right now for the Maine South Hawks. A pair of guys in the bullpen for the Champions. Katsogradakis takes his lead at second. I don't know if we saw him steal any bags. Not a super speedy player. Very muscular on the football field, but not as much speed. But he got the stolen bag there as this one hit towards second. Should be playable for Gonzalo. It will advance the runner as a high arcing throw there from Gonzalo to third base. But it will advance the runner. Cap does his job, and Lane Tech has a runner at third for, is this his first time today? Let's see. We saw Zeeb get caught heading to third, and it will. So Lane Tech's going to have a runner 1 bag away from scoring for the first time here this night. And we'll see if Tyler Trapp can drive him in. Trapp has reached both times. Singled the first inning, singled the third inning. That one was a fielder choice. A runner did get out on that play, so he would prefer to have something closer to the first scenario here. After him, it'll be Josh Katz, still just 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. As first pitch misses down low, we'll go to a 1-0 count. Trapp, Katz, and Borgren. Then Darishin, should the Champions get that far. Higgins struggling a little bit here. This one down low in the dirt again, and we see the Buka just dive on that one. We saw the failed attempt to steal home last inning, a couple of innings ago, from the Hawks. Don't imagine we'll see that from the Champions, but if it's a wild pitch, we could. As this one hit towards left, and on the run, making the grab there is Krishke, but coming in the score will be Katsogradakis, a sacrifice fly from Tyler Trapp. And the Champions have broken their scoring drought. 10 straight innings they went without a run. But they finally score here in the 5th against Maine South, and it's a 2-1 ball game. No one on, 2 outs for Josh Katz. So just like that, a little bit closer. Lane Tech inching back into this one. Sure they'd love if Katz could hit a home run here and make it a whole new ball game. I imagine we'll see Caden Tokowitz head for a second inning of action. Lorenz is pointing down, and they wanted to see if Katsogradakis tagged up there before they threw a first pitch to Katz. So they had Higgins throw the third while Allegretti stepped on the bag, and then the umpire from home showed the safe sign. But might as well try that in a game like this, as first pitch misses inside. Katz turned his shoulder at the right time where it almost clipped him in a small spot where it probably would not have hurt, but would have gotten him a free bag. But umpire will not say it hit him. We'll go to a 1-0. And foul contact on the 1-0 brings us to a 1-1 count. Third pitcher we have seen today for the Hawks. See how many they can get up to as they try to finish out these next 7 outs. Katz flies this one to right foul territory, and someone in the bullpen might have a play with it. I think it went a little too far, but it will be a strike either way on Josh Katz. And a 1-2 count now after a pair of strong foul balls. One went straight back, one to right field, but some strong contact on both of them. If he can time it right, we'll see what he can do with this at bat. Katz calls late times. Higgins threw a fastball down the middle. I'm sure Katz would have loved that one. They thought the time called there by Katz was a little late over there in the Maine South dugout, but the umpire won't agree. Granted the time and a 1-2 count. 2-1, bottom of the 5th inning here from Kerrywood Field. Hawks trying to protect a 2-1 lead. And they called strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. Once again, almost hit Katz there, but missed him by an inch or two. And a backwards K to end off the inning for Sam Higgins. But the Champions score once. A sac fly from Tyler Trapp scores Giannis Katsogradakis, who tagged up from third. And we have a whole new ball game here. 2-1, Maine South leads Lane Tech. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. We head to the 6th inning. Just 2 more innings to go here at Kerrywood Field. Champions got 1 back in the bottom of the 5th, so it's just a 1-run ball game. Maine South leads 2-1 as we enter the top of the 6th. Caden Tokowitz, who looked good there in the 5th inning, will enter his 2nd inning of work. Looks like the Champions do have some bullpen work, and we've been trying to see who that is, but can't quite catch a number. So we'll see if we can get that midway through the inning. Tokowitz will be facing off against the 4, 5, and 6 part of this lineup. Noah Collins has had a nice day in the field, but has yet to record a hit. Reached on a walk, and then second time out, grounded to first base as first pitch misses for a ball, and we'll go to a 1-0 count. Lane Tech's been experimenting with these different player combos in the field, obviously, as this one hit towards left and will drop in front of Carson Berg for a leadoff single. And we're going to say Tokowitz showing that he can do well in this relief role, but we'll want to limit hits like that as the leadoff man is aboard for the Maine South Hawks. 1 on, no outs for the Hawks. Scored both of their runs back in the 3rd inning. It's kind of similar to Lane Tech's offense in that new Trier game. Scored early in the 1st, and the offense went quiet. Offense has been quiet the last 2 innings for the Hawks, and they're hoping that stays the same as Tokowitz cannot get the runner at first. Confident throw as lefty over there, the first base. Something you love to see out of a pitcher. As this one pieced in the right field, and Borgren got it. The throw to first is just a second too late. It gets past Katsugradakis. Joshua gets it, and a very smart play there by Joshua. He almost went diving into the wall. There's luckily padding there, but it kept the runner from advancing to second base. So nice heads-up play there by Ethan Borgren to get out number 1. They did not get the double-up opportunity, but they will have 1 away and 1 on now here in the top of the 6th. Coming to the plate now, the designated hitter, Dylan Neal. 6:19 local time in Roscoe Village, nearing the 2-hour mark of this contest. Low-scoring affair, lots of defense. Couple of hits, but nothing too spectacular offensively from either of these squads. You have had a few outfield pitches that very well could have gone for big hits had they dropped a certain way. I gotta say, the wind does not seem to have had that much of an effect, at least from what we have seen on tonight's game. Not as strong as some of the past matchups, as the 2-0 misses outside, and I believe we're 1 ball away from a 4-pitch walk to Neal, who's remained in the DH role despite the carousel of pitchers we have seen today for Maine South. It's going to be very interesting to see if they stick with the freshman Higgins, who just gave up that run, or if they try to turn to the bullpen. 2 guys warming up over there in the away bullpen as the 3-1 hits the bottom outside part of the zone, and a 3-0 count quickly turns into a full count here. See if the lefty Tokowitz can close out a second out this inning. Runner takes his lead at first. Collins over there. They tried to pick him off. Close one there, but Catsuradox might have dropped the ball at the end. Very interested to see what's happening over here at first base. Jack Soar not playing there tonight. We'll see if they're just testing out Katsuradox or if he'll get the role for a couple of games. Runner takes towards second. Pitch is high, and it will not matter. Shashro was all ready to throw down, but realized that was a free bag to second base, and now there'll be 2 on with just 1 away. Champions still trying to turn their first double play of the season. One here would end the inning. Top of the 6th. Maine has 6 outs offensively to try to score or take the lead. Right now they just need 1, but the Hawks threatening to make that a bigger number here in inning number 6 of action. Runners take their leads at first and second. Greco's going to check the runner there at second, but now backs off. The pitch, first one inside, will go for a ball. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from a chilly Carywood field. Ben Labutka at the plate at the plate right now, the catcher. Reached his last time aboard. Last time up to the plate, I should say, as the 1-0 finds its way into the strike zone. He walked, they put in the pinch runner, and then got to third, Liam Maloney, before the interesting steal home approach. Did not work. And kept it at 2 runs. This one hit softly. Tokowitz doesn't know where to throw. It's an arching throw, and they do not get him at first. Unlucky call there. It was a slow roller. Tokowitz looked towards third, then looked towards second, then throw to first, and the throw just was not super easy for the lefty at that angle. They'll put Maloney into pinch run for him again, and Maine South now is swinging the bat away from breaking this one open. They have the bases loaded, 1 out. The 2 runs that Maine South scored here today came in a very similar situation. Mon Khan in inning number 3 had the bases loaded, 1 out. 2 came across that inning. There was a chance for them to make it even more, but a couple of late outs ended that as a swing and a miss on a big cut to start off this at-bat. I don't think that last one will be counted as an error. I think it's just going to be a single as this one hit into right field. Borgren is coming in. They're going to send the runner. Borgren with a good arm here, but it's a little off the mark. Joshua loses it, but backing him up. Now they're going to throw the third. That one was a little too late. Good job there by Tokowitz to back up the throw. And now it is a 3-1 lead. As coming to the plate will be, looks like a pinch hitter here. Logan Tomlinson comes in to hit for the 9-hitter, Ryan Kriske, who's had a little bit of trouble at the plate, and they'll look to keep this inning alive. So Maine South, after leading by 2, lost the 2-run lead. It was only a 1-run lead last inning. As a pickoff attempt there, the third went wild, but Darishan got it back. Or that wasn't even a pickoff attempt. They were just playing catch there, and they lost it. It's a dead ball anyways as they try to sort out the pinch hitter. Tomlinson, a junior infielder slash outfielder. I love the way this roster goes for Maine South. They have all these players listed like they play like a billion different positions because they didn't go past the like which infield and which outfield they play. So we have a lot of players who could easily be slotted in any position on the field. As first pitch down low will go to an 1-0 count. There is 2 away. Borgren got that one on the run. Had a good chance to laser in a throw to Joshua with that momentum, but it was just a little bit off the mark. It's a big swing to miss here from Tomlinson. It's Neal at third base, and Maloney, the pinch runner, at second. That was Collins who came in to score a couple of minutes ago. The pitch inside, backing out, not taking that one, is going to be Tomlinson. And it'd be dangerous to load the bases again. As we mentioned, all the damage today has been done with bases loaded for the Hawks. So they open up a 3-1 lead here in the 6th inning. A big swing and a miss. And Tokowitz, one pitch away from getting out of this inning, gave up his first earned run of the season. Still's been a pretty solid couple of appearances here from Tokowitz, but he would love to keep this at a 3-1 game. The pitch, down low and inside, and we'll do it again, this time with a full count. I'm very interested to see. They're probably not going to have the runners run because if it's a ball, that would possibly be an out at home, as this one hammered towards center. Katz backs up, now comes in. Now it's Greco, and it will end up being Katz who makes the grab. Made his way in from center field, got it on the edge of the infield. But Maine South puts one more across the board. They lead by 2 once again. Maine South 3, Lane Tech 1 as we enter the bottom of the 6th. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. One of the top arms for the Maine South Hawks will come into the game here in inning number 6. That's senior right-handed pitcher Braden Quinn. One of the guys who was part of the 25-win squad last season, and we'll see what he can do against the 3, 4, and 5 parts of this Lane Tech lineup. In the bottom of the 6th, champions find themselves needing 2 runs to get back in this one. It's been another day where the offense has struggled for the champions, only playing 1 run across the board, but that run came last inning, so the offense may be on the uptick. We'll see if that continues here in inning number 6. It'll be Ethan Borgren coming up to hit, Louis Dershin following him, and Zach Shashua in the hole. We'll see if Lane Tech uses any pinch hitters should they get later into the lineup. The way it stands, not ideal. They'll likely be facing the maybe 7, 8, 9 part of their lineup, 8, 9, 1 part of the lineup near the 7th inning should they need a comeback. Not exactly the hitters you want at the plate as Borgren smacks this into center field but travels a little further than it originally looked. The wind is not blowing out that way, but it just traveled a lot longer than it looked like it would. And that will be an F8, or really an L8, to start off inning number 6 offensively for the champions. Louis Dershin heads to the plate now. Zach Shashua in the on-deck circle. Dershin, another quiet day at the plate. A pair of flyouts to left field. Both have been well hit off his bat as curveball gets in there for a strike 1. He just has had struggle finding open spots on the field to hit the ball. As the 0-1, once again hammered to left field, but once again looks playable for Kriske, and it will end up being Marks who came from center field to make it. So 2 flyouts to center field on just a couple of pitches here from Braden Quinn, and just like that, champions are down to 4 outs in this ball game, trying to avoid a losing streak for the first time this season. They've lost 2, but they were not back-to-back. As first pitch swung on and missed from Joshua, and we'll go to an 0-1 count. Quinn's been working that curveball hard here early. He's gotten the contact he wants with it, so why fix what's not broken? We'll see if Caden Tokowitz comes back in the pitch for Lane Sack in the 7th, as another pitch is found in the strike zone. And Quinn looking at, must be a 9 or 10 pitch inning here. The 0-2. Curveball got him swinging, and a 1-2-3 inning for Maine South defensively in the bottom of the 6th. We'll head to the final inning of play. It's the Maine South Hawks 3, the Lane Tech Champions 1 here from Kerrywood Field. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Caden Tokowitz stays in to pitch a 3rd inning here. Gave up 1 run in the 6th, but other than that, it's looked pretty solid on the mound. In relief, Champions hoping they can get through this with just 2 pitchers used. And we'll be right back. And I was just about to comment on how we were maybe going to be able to get through this whole game without using the lights here at Kerrywood Field. It's about 6:33, sunset in Chicago. I just looked, I think 7:06 p.m. But they are going to say, turn on the lights here in the press box, and that is what we do. So the big floodlights here at Kerrywood Field start to come on as we enter the final inning of play here, at least of regulation. Champions will need to put at least 2 on the board in the last inning, bottom of this inning. They're hoping that it's only 2. But that's all going to depend on how this top half of the inning goes. It was a 1-2-3 for the Champions, so they're going to be facing the they're going to be having their 6, 7, and 8 guys come to the plate next inning. As leading things off, it's dangerous. It's the one hitter, Orukovic, to lead things off here. First pitch, curveball swung on and missed. A lefty on lefty battle. The southpaw Tokowitz on the lefty Orukovic. 2 guys who have had good games so far. And this one skied towards right field, and Katz will make the grab on the run. It's been a great day for center fielders. Boy, Katz has had a bunch of catches. We've seen Marks make a bunch of catches. He made 2 of the outs in the bottom half of the 6th there. So a good day for center fielders with the wind mild. So they've been having a lot of room to have to run both up, down, left, and right. And one away quickly here in the top of the 7th. Champions have not had a multi-run inning offensively since the first inning of their last game. They'd have to break that streak if they're going to want to possibly get a win here today, as curveball gets Allegretti swinging, the lefty third baseman, who we also saw pitch an inning today. I got to imagine if you're Maine South, you're looking to keep breeding Quinn in, pitching one more inning. Only went about 9 or 10 pitches that last inning. Got a 1-2-3 inning. Has strike called on the outside part of the plate, and Tokowitz 1 strike away from 2 up, 2 down. Had a 4-batter inning, 6-batter inning in the 6th. And this will be 2 up, 2 down. The possibility of a 3-batter inning as backwards K. I believe that's the first of the day. No, that's the second backwards K of the day. Third strikeout today for Tokowitz. Did not have any in the sixth, but had 2 in the fifth, and now adds 1 in inning number 7. And trying to keep this inning alive will be Brady Marks. First one hit high towards right field. Borgren shifts over and makes the grab. Katz was trying to get another one there, but it will be Borgren. And that will bring us to the end of the top of the 7th. Champions have 3 outs to work some magic. They trail 3-1. It's the Hawks 3, Lane Tech Champions 1 as we enter the bottom of the 7th. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Baseball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Well, Lane Tech took a nice long time. The team huddle there near their dugout in between the top and bottom half of this final inning of action at Kerry Wood Field. Talk things over, and they're going to need the offensive bats to get going. Teo Greco will lead things off here in inning number 7. Champions trail 3-1 as we enter the bottom half. First pitch to Greco. He did not swing, and we'll go to a 1-0. Braden Quinn stays on the mound, made very good work of the heart of Lane Tech's lineup. A line out by by Ethan Borgren, a fly out by Louis Derishin, and a fly out by Zach Shashua in inning number 6, and now he'll face off against Teo Greco, Carson Berg, and Giannis Katsagradakis as this one sliced towards short, but Orukovic right under it. And that will be out number 1 on just a couple of pitches. Quinn just so efficient in his pitching. It's not like he's afraid for the batters to hit the ball, it looks like here. He's just efficient with it. It was actually a strikeout for Joshua. So he's only had 1 strikeout, but he's gotten 4 straight batters retired. There's now been 7 straight batters retired between Quinn and the last pitcher for the Hawks. His first pitch called for a strike, which was the freshman Sam Higgins. As this one hit towards second, looks like this is a pinch hitter, Henry Murray, but able to make the play is Gonzalo, who gets the 4-3 put out, and the Champions down to their final out of the game. So they try to put the switch hitting Henry Murray to generate some offense. It doesn't work, and they're going to use a pinch hitter here, and it looks like that's Jack Sir. So the usual first baseman out of the lineup tonight comes in to pinch hit for the backup first baseman in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Champions down to 1 out. So we'll see if this has any effect on the game. It's a lefty for a lefty switch. First pitch taken down low. So they're going to suit up a lefty batter against this righty Quinn. Tried that with Henry Murray, the last batter, but it did not work. Jack Sir holds patient, keeps the bat at his shoulder for the first 2 pitches, and will even it out at a 1-1 count. Bottom of the 7th, Champions trying to avoid back-to-back losses Has a big swing and a miss, strike two, but they have only one strike left to do that. Gonna need a very late rally here. Quinn readies the 1-2. This one misses outside, and we'll do it again, even it out at a 2-2 count. In South, looking for their first win of the season. They haven't lost every game. They tied one last night, but looking to get one in that win column. Quinn to close it, the 2-2. This one hit into right field, and we'll keep it going. The tying run will come to home plate. And it's going to be another pinch hitter. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like this might be Jack Davis. Yes, so Lane Tech Jr. Jack Davis is going to come in to pinch hit for Adam Kunzvitsky. Davis represents the tying run. He pitched on Monday, a gem against De La Salle. Had a rough first inning, but then straightened out and worked well the rest of the way when, I believe, 4 2/3 against the Meteors. Also was in the starting lineup day one in left field. Now he'll come in as a pinch hitter, game on the line. Nice job there trying to frame it by Labotka, but moves a little too far to the right, and we'll even it out at 1-1. Tyler Trapp on deck. Jack Zorf lead over there at first base. But I doubt the champions would risk a steal here as the 1-1 way inside. And a little bit of hope still holding out here at Kerrywood Field. Wind blowing a little bit to the right. Coldy night in Chicago. Pitch, this one hit towards third. This could do it. Allegretti goes to second, gets the force out, and that will be the game. Champions offense cannot find its footing once again. Champions put just one run on the board. And they will enter their big matchup on Saturday with the second-rate Nazareth Roadrunners. Just 2-3 on the year. Back-to-back losses for Lane Tech after falling to New Trier, and now here the Maine South. A good game pitching-wise for Maine South. They had to string some guys together after this is their fourth game in 4 days, as we mentioned. But they do it, and it's enough to get past this Lane Tech offense. A good day on the mound for Amon Khan, just 2 runs given up, but that ended up being the difference. He'll take the loss here tonight, and then Caden Tokowitz, 1 run in 3 innings of relief. Once again, not enough for the champions here on this Thursday night in Chicago. That's just about going to do our coverage here tonight. Knock on wood that we'll have a game on Saturday. No snow or rain coming our way, hopefully, but that will be a 2:30 first pitch against Nazareth. Should it happen, should be a fun one. We'll be on the air around 2:25, 2:30 for that big-time matchup for the champions as they'll look to get back on track. But that's just about all the time we have here today. Your final score from Kerrywood Field. It's the Maine South Hawks 3, Lane Tech Champions 1. My name's Alex Burstein. Good night.